Hi, Luke here from Figmento Films. Hardly make any videos these days because I've been super busy. It's been a crazy year, but in the recent months I've upgraded to a Lumix S1. There was a whole bunch of drama about the S5 coming out, and I've got to admit myself I was a little bit gutted, but then Panasonic turned it all around with some awesome updates. So in this video we're just going to do a quick look at the latest firmware update for the Lumix S1, firmware 1.6. Later on there will be some more firmware that's going to make this camera like a beast. You know, I'm not going to go on too far, but I would say in terms of bang for buck, I do think the S1 is probably the best all-around camera you can get. However, these cameras traditionally, you know, they're DFD auto-focusing systems, which isn't amazing. This firmware update is supposed to help address that. I don't have massive hopes, but I do have hopes. So right now we're filming on the S1, and we're using the the autofocus we're filming on the S1, and we're using the latest firmware update. So it's all auto. I usually do manual, and hopefully this is actually keeping track of me. So in a minute, I'm just going to walk backwards and forwards and see how fast it's going to be. I don't think it's going to keep up with a Sony or a Canon, to be honest with you, but if it can help at all, it's good. And just a little bit of info, you know, I am a working photographer and videographer, which is why I don't get much time to do a lot of videos. But I do think autofocusing features can be useful despite what people say, and even though I use manual focus most of the time, I do think it is a useful feature to have if you do want to do more self-promotional material like this. So I'm going to walk backwards and forwards and see if it actually keeps track of me. So I'm going to walk away first. So the reason I'm taking a little while is because I've got a feeling it's going to be a little bit slow. I don't think it's going to be like a Sony. If I start doing this, I don't reckon it's going to keep up with me. It's supposed to have head tracking as well. So is it keeping track? I don't know. Let's walk here. FYI, I'm using the 24 to 105 lens, which is quite a slow lens. Also worth noting as well, that they released shutter angle with it as well, but if you're using higher shutter speeds, this is a generally more improved performance, but the shutter angle, keeping it at 180. Popping in and out like a crazy person. I don't know who presents like this, to be honest with you. Like some psycho. And if I pop out, how long is it taking before I'll do a little countdown? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So assistant, did that grab focus at all? It did. Ah, brilliant. Okay. Now, where I would find these modes more useful, because for filming I do prefer to do autofocus. I tend to be on the other side of the camera. That's where I prefer to be. So I'll rarely be using autofocus. And if you have moved to one of these like new Lumix systems, an S5, an S1, S1R, S1H or whatever, it is worth going in the settings, in my opinion, and changing the focus wheel to linear, so it acts more like a traditional wheel. So the next test we're going to do is my awesome assistant is I'm just going to take some photos and see how well it works. I have got a feeling before I take this home that the video tests weren't going to be like too amazing, but before this update I found I was getting a good hit rate with photos using this lens. So we'll see if it's improved it any more. Okay, so I'm back home now, and I've got a chance to review the videos and the footage. And before I carry on with this, I've got to say the video, the autofocus on that video was really good. Secondly, sorry about the sound throughout this. I didn't have much time to film today. The firmware's come out. I just wanted to get something up nice and quickly so people have got an idea. and hopefully this does the job. But yeah, we'll remark on this later on in the video, but wow, I mean, I didn't get to review it while I was there very well. You're looking on a tiny screen, but that video footage was actually really impressive. Like I say, a few hiccups, but massive improvement overall. And the first thing we're going to start with here is looking at the photo. I'm going to play them all in quick succession so you can see for yourself if you think they're in focus or not, just to give you a basic idea. I do give some thoughts at the end of the video, but I didn't get to see these before I get to that point. I didn't even get to see these photos on a big screen until I got home. So let's review these. I'm going to play them through a couple of times and you can just make up your mind yourself. She was about 10 to 12 feet away from me, and the autofocus was locked on her body, and then as she got close enough it switched to her eye. I think this is impressive. Let's review it and you can see it for yourself. It looks in perfect focus to me. Nice and close. Maybe a tiny bit soft, but more than usable. I mean, this is really impressive. You know, in low light it might not be so good, but in these conditions it's worked really well, and I think it seems to be really confident. And then I also got Anna to do some other stuff as well, and I just chucked that in there just for banter. Sorry, when I say banter, I mean very important scientific tests. But what you can see from this footage is that I've got her turning around, looking up and down, walking away from the camera, turning her head around. The focus is supposed to be able to focus on people's heads now, which is what helps it make it more accurate, and I would have to agree, it does seem to be that way. I mean, the hit rate is much higher than it was before, and because I plan on using my camera to shoot weddings, as I've had to move more into the photography side of things, I need something that can keep up under those conditions, and I do feel very confident now. Well, with this lens anyway. I find my Sigma lenses a bit different, a little bit slower, but that's a video for another day. So firstly, if I'm being washed out on this side, don't worry, we had no idea the sun was going to come out. It's been overcast all day. I know it's gone absolutely stunning here in Studley. Getting back to things though, those tests, I don't want to get too excited, but if it is as good as it looked in the camera, holy hell man, that was incredible. Like I said, I was getting a good hit rate before with photos. That was unreal. I've never seen it go that fast and keep track. So when Anna moved all the way to the back, it naturally dropped to body detection, and as she got closer it switched to eye detection. I then got her to look up and down and left and right and just go a little bit crazy, and it seemed to keep track. Obviously I'm looking at it through a small screen, so I'm going to be playing these photos back, so I might notice some sort of some out of focus bits, and I expect to see a few. But it was really keeping up with the eye. If you are planning on getting this camera for professional photography, I can highly recommend it. I was a bit apprehensive about taking this to use on weddings because it's a DFD system, and I do suspect at lower shutter speeds it might not be as good, and lower light conditions as well. However, it is revealed that this S1 is a dual native ISO, so it's going to be good in low light anyway, and I think you're going to be okay. I was really impressed. Now I was shooting all those at wide open, which was f4. The 24 to 105 lens is quite a slow lens as lenses go, so if you get a lens with a much faster aperture like a 1.4, again it's probably not going to be quite so good. For me, I tend not to shoot that wide open anyway. I find I rarely want to shoot where the background is so blown out that everything looks like a dream, and I'm not a huge fan. I tend to stick at around 2.8 because I like to have some background in, but just a bit of separation. Not a huge fan of shooting wide open, but if you are, that could be a problem for you. Anyways, like I said, I'm a working photographer and a working videographer, so if there is anything you wanted, anyone's getting engaged or anything, you can get in touch with me via my website, which is figmentofilms.com. Occasionally I'll be posting here on YouTube, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can keep up to date for when I do actually post. But yeah, it's been really great. I'll have some more videos on the way with some of the other updates. I'm hoping to stick my Sigma 100 to 400 on this lens with this new update and see how it handles as well. But yeah, that's it for now, and I'll catch you all next time. See ya.